Well, hello guys, PokePlayer, and today I've got a really special announcement because I have joined the NU Champions League. As you guys can see from the title right there, that is the NU Champions League, and this is about NU. This is a league about NU mons, which is really cool. Normally you see leagues about OU mons, UU mons, but this is a league about NU mons. This is probably the first league I see about NU mons, and it's really cool. It is hosted by the Rizzle, so definitely check the Rizzle's Twitter out, and he has a YouTube channel right now as well, so check it out. But I'm going to hop into the teams and the Pokemon that I drafted, and I'm going to discuss that in today's video. So before we go and rush into something, I'm first going to introduce you guys to the team that I'm going to host and the team that I'm the coach of, because this is the Amsterdam Ambipomps. I made this logo and I'm really proud of it, guys. It is based around Ambipom, of course, and it is a really cool team. Definitely support the Amsterdam Ambipomps, guys. And let's hop into the teams. This league contains a lot of awesome people. I've been chatting with them on Skype and they're just really nice, and this league contains a lot of cool people, and definitely check them out. I will leave the link of their Twitter aka channels in the description below. And well, this league contains of the teams the NUCL Bertics, the Iberian League Warriors, the Amsterdam Ambipomps, that's me of course, the Golden State Girders, the Moscow Diamonds, the Letty Empoleons, the Detroit Dunsparces, the Limburgs Leopards, the Leicester City Swaglets, and the Evansville Slug. This league had a draft like all other leagues have as well. So we had to draft Pokemon in a league in a same order, but we changed the order every time, so everyone had the same chance of getting a good Pokemon and all that stuff. Also, the Pokemon were divided in several kind of groups of points worth. So you had a amount of points, 105 points, everyone had 105 points, and you had to divide that in the Pokemon you wanted to draft. So for example, if you drafted a Sock which was worth 15 points, you lost quite a few points if you wanted to draft a lot of mons. If you want to draft just 6 mons, you can draft the best mons, but your opponent can prepare for your team really well because they know what you're going to bring. So that's a little bit of a strategy. You also had PU mons which were worth a lot less points, so you can get a lot of PU mons. So let's hop into the Pokemon that I drafted. The first Pokemon that I drafted was Quagsire. I was the third person to choose Pokemon, and I really needed Quagsire because I have been getting swept a lot lately, and I didn't want that to happen in this league, so that's why I chose Quagsire. Of course, Quagsire has the ability Unaware, so he doesn't care about stat changes, which is really good, and it's just a really great wall. It isn't the strongest defensive wall, but it is a pretty sustainable wall with recovery in the form of recover and all that kind of good stuff. So that's why I chose Quagsire as the first mon to the draft. And the second mon that I chose in this draft was Hitmonchan. So we had a bit of voting before we chose our mons, and we decided to let some RU pokes go into the league as well. You will see that in the future in the battles, but Hitmonchan was one of these Pokemon, and Hitmonchan is a really good mon. I saw that people drafted some really powerful mons, and I didn't really have a good wall in mind to stop those mons, so I decided to choose Hitmonchan. And because Hitmonchan has so many good priority moves, it can deal with a lot of things. For example, go with Fake Out Mach Punch combination. With the Life Orb, it can almost take out a Sock and a Swallow, which is really good. And if I get up rocks, that's just an easy KO for my Hitmonchan. And it is just a really reliable special defensive mon, so that's why I chose Hitmonchan. Let's go on to the third Pokemon. And my third pick was Zangoose. So Zangoose is a really good wall break, and I really needed a wall break in my team. Zangoose does about 60 to 70% to a max defensive Weezing, which is really impressive. And I really needed a wall breaker. Hitmonchan doesn't have the power to break walls, but it has the sustain, and I just really needed a powerful normal type or just a powerful wall break, so that's why I chose Zangoose. And the fourth pick was Beheeyem. Behemoth is one of the best special attackers in the PU tier, if it isn't the best special attacker. 125 special attack, correct me if I'm wrong, and an analytic boost is just insane. With the choice specs, it can break special walls, so that's my special wall breaker. And I really needed a special offensive mon as well. Quagsire could be special offensive with Scald and Earth Power, but it is not really a special offensive mon, so I was really looking for some powerful special offensive mon, so that's why I chose Behemoth, and Behemoth is just really cool. And the 5th pick was Rotom, and this was just the regular Rotom. So I was looking through all the high tiered mons, the NUA section mons, and I needed an electric type because electric types are always useful on a team. And I saw that someone already drafted Swallow, so Rotom, regular Rotom, was the Pokemon to go. It has power, it can do tricky stuff with Trick, of course, and it has the speed with the Scarf, so I'm probably going to run the main set. Not messing around, maybe specs at some point, but Rotom is just a really good and tricky mon to use, so that's why I chose Rotom. And my 6th pick was the awful looking but oh so really good special defensive Muk. Muk is a Pokemon which you can do a lot of things with. It is really reliable on the special defensive side, and I really needed a special defensive wall. As you guys saw, I only have Quagsire as a sustainable wall. I also have Behemoth which can take special hits, but Muk is much better. And well, Curse Muk is nothing to mess around with. It can boost its defense, it can boost its attack, and I also saw that someone already drafted Mega Audino, and Muk is a pretty darn good counter for that. Having Poison Jab, which is really powerful, and the chance to poison is really big with Poison Touch and Poison Jab. It's probably 50%, if it isn't more, maybe 60 even. I think it's 60%, because if you're a Poison type, it's 30% to poison with moves like Sludge Bomb and Poison Jab, and Poison Touch is 30% as well, so it's 60% chance. And Muk is really sustainable. It doesn't have recovery, but it is a really good mon. You can set up with it, you can make it assault vested. It is just really good. So let's go on to the next Pokemon. And the next Pokemon that I drafted was Vanillux. Vanillux is a Pokemon that I've been using a lot in PU lately. It is a really good wall breaker as well with the choice specs and 115 special attacks, something like that, maybe 120 even. But it is a really good special offensive mon, and I really needed an ice type on my team. I saw that people were drafting things like Vileplume and Togetic, so I really needed something to break those walls. And having Freeze Dry and Ice Beam, which is a really good coverage move. Freeze Dry is really good, it wrecks teams. I can see the teams right now, and you can guys check that out as well, but I'll say that in the end of the video. But it breaks through teams with Freeze Dry, so it is a really good mon. It's probably going to be used in particular teams and not in all of them, because the rock weakness is kind of hard. But it is a really good mon, so that's why I chose Vanillux in this team. I already have something to stop sweeps with Quagsire, but I also needed something to make sure that if there was something to be stopped, that it can be roared out as well. And the perfect Pokemon to be roaring and to phase Pokemon out is of course Bastiodon, and that's why I chose Bastiodon, because it is a really good defensive wall. It has sturdy, might it all go bad, and it is just really bulky. It has Stealth Rocks, and I don't really have any Pokemon to set up Stealth Rock, and that's always important. It can run Toxic, Protect, Stalling, Metal Burst if it all goes bad, Roar for Pokemon that can't touch it but try and set up. All that good things can Bastiodon do, so that's why I chose Bastiodon. So I was looking through my team and I saw that I had a bulky special attacker and a frail special attacker. And then I also saw that I had a frail physical attacker, but not really a bulky attacker. Well, Hitmonchan is bulky, but it's more meant to be a wall kind of Pokemon. So that's why I chose Malamar. I had about 30 points left, and I wanted to draft something big, and nobody drafted Malamar quite yet. And it's a really good Pokemon. It can break through teams, and with the superpower setup, it doesn't care about things like Sticky Web and Intimidate, which makes it a really good mon. So that's why I chose to draft Malamar. It is a really good mon. I've used it before, not that much, but it is there and it's going to do really well for me. I'm sure of it. And the second last Pokemon that I drafted was Noctowl. Noctowl has been messing me up lately. I couldn't touch it against the battle against Sky, which was really hard. And Noctowl has a really sustainable special defensive wall with Roost. I already had Mach, but you can't really trust on Mach because it doesn't really have anything like Roost or anything bulky that can give it health back. And Noctowl has that, and Noctowl also had Defog. I really want a Defogger because I'm not really into the hazard stack on my team, so Defog is definitely a must because my team doesn't have the hazards, so Defog doesn't really care. And I also didn't really had a spinner. The only spinner that I had was Hitmonchan, and I would like to use Hitmonchan more as an offensive Pokemon than as a spinner. So that's why I drafted Noctowl. It's a really good special defensive mon, and I really needed it in my team. I only had 5 points left, so I could only choose a Pokemon that was not on the list, and I needed a good grass type. And then I was looking through some OU mons and some prevolutions of these mons, and then I saw Surfine. And Surfine is a really good mon actually. With the Eviolite, it is pretty darn bulky and it has pretty good speed. It has an A3 speed stat, and it has the contrary boost with Leaf Storm, which is a really good thing. So Surfine can definitely deal with the bulky water types that I have to face. So that's why I drafted Surfine, and it looks just gorgeous. It's a really good looking Pokemon. So this is my team, guys. I hope you like the team because I do really like it. There are a lot of cool mons in it. And let me know if you like the team, of course. And if there are any Pokemon you want me to transfer in the next transfer, or if you think some Pokemon don't really work in the team for the future, just let me know. I hope everyone that is watching this video is pumped for the Ember Bombs, the Amsterdam Ember Bombs. Make sure to support the team, and I'm also planning to actually use quality content for the battles that I have. So I'm contacting Trent. You guys don't really have to know this, but the battles are probably going to be in quality, which is really cool. I'm going to try and upload a battle on the same day every week. And also, if you want to check out the other teams, you can go into the description, and I will leave a link from the spreadsheet where all the teams are the Pokemon that could have been drafted but are not drafted, and all that other information. So definitely check that out. Also check the other guys out in the league, and then I'll see you guys in my next video. Later.